Thank you very much. It's time for the strips. It's my best part of the show. Yay! Now, Judith, we have very interesting strips today, but they all have a common thread. They all seem to be carrying a common thread. That just gives you an idea as to what people are thinking generally today, and it's all about themselves, self-preservation, what's happening with the political elite, and how we seem to be the ones that are carrying them. And I mean everybody who's not in politics. But we'll let the strips tell in picture and color. Let's start with our very first one. Very interestingly, I'm going to need you to also help me analyze some of these, okay?
I got you.
Let's put up some of the strips that we identified from last week that were very entertaining and things that we thought, regarding the sale of the PHC. And this is not really the one I'm very excited about, but on off, you can see the FG there, auctioning off what's it called? As a matter of fact, by the way, we're still testing it though, but still it's for sale and the discos can sell whatever it is that we're giving. I'm not particularly interested in the power system right now, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Most Nigerians, Judith, are switching to alternative sources of energy. And only lately I've begun to take it very seriously regarding how I can no longer rely on the federal government for my electricity because of how epileptic it has become. And I remember the time when I used to grow up with at least, let me say 10 hours of light during the day. These days, it's worse than that. I'm embarrassed to tell you what rubber band I'm on. But I'm taking myself off the grid finally. And I'll have to worry about these guys no more. What are you doing? What's your take?
Look, this picture, this editorial, it nicely depicts what's wrong with our power sector and what can be done and have been refused to happen, and it's simply the federal government of Nigeria, right? Just sitting down there, getting all this money and just being there instead of providing real solutions. I mean, look at that character. I don't know who that character is. I don't know if he's painted
it's not connected. That's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like you can tell that he was holding it back from developing. Just imagine, Mazzino. Imagine if the entirety of this country had power supply that was constant. I would have fresh cauliflower, right, and broccolis, right, and vegetables from Plateau State. I would have electricity train, trams. Do you have any clue
how
what this country will become?
We would look more toward renewable energy for even transportation, electric cars, but we don't even have the electricity. Right. Have you been noticing the CNG lines at the fueling station? They're getting longer and longer. It's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because people are adopting it more. It's a bad thing because there's no infrastructure to, help service the people.
And the government says, we're always blaming them. You're always blaming them. What about the people? Stop gaslighting us. It's you. I didn't write it.
Let's move on to our next strip for today. Okay, next strip for today. There we go. Good. Election promises. Half-year term. Remember, was it on Wednesday? And the president gave his speech, in which he reiterated, subsidy is gone, and everybody clapped, yay, and everything like that. Yeah. Okay. There's still another picture I would like to show you. In any case, 2 years in office. He's still got these baggage of promises not yet given to the people. We haven't actualized them. We're still waiting for this renewed hope. And like I said in my monologue, it's not that we don't believe in it. Maybe we don't know much about it. Maybe we don't understand and aren't on the same train. Perhaps maybe if there was communication between the elite, political elite, and regular Nigerians would have an idea. But it still remains this way for most of Nigerians. This is how we see what's going on right now, 2 years in to the administration. Real quick, say little about this, but let's move on to the next one, which I think you might have plenty to talk about. Now the coalition. Judith, do you want to tell me right off the bat what you think about this picture here? The roadblock, the specific names on that bus.
Everyone knows my eyesight is shitty, so there we go.
Go on.
Said it finally. So there's, guys, you just have to put it big because I cannot see
no,
okay?
I'll tell you.
Cool.
It says Obi Atiku El Rufai on that one, and that's the Coalition Express. And these are all the roadblocks. I may help you. I could give you my glasses. Who will step down for who? Lack of support from governors, defection to APC, no independent finance financiers, infiltration by ruling party, mistrust by opposition leaders, and all the way there is 2027. Okay, there it is. Okay. 2027.
All right. So, and then these the coalition is the boss, and then on it is Atiku, El-Rufai, and Obi. Very unlikely opponents, I will say. Very unlikely individuals. Everybody with their own, priorities and their, what their core is. You know, there's Obi, who seems like a sincere politician. The current vice president described him as a good man, but good men they are not good leaders, they don't rule, And then there's El-Rufai, who's like, the small but a giant,
He's the experienced one here.
Experienced politician, giant of the north. And there's Atiku, of course, vice president, who has been, vying for this ticket for so long, serial, and so, these are very unlikely people.
So the one thing
this boss that they are carrying,
where is
this coalition.
Who will step down for who is the very
It's the biggest boulder there.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's interesting about about the coalition is that it is not even a caterpillar. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even like a proper truck that can push this boulder.
I didn't take notes.
So it's very clear that the coalition may not stand a chance against those boulders, because even the small one, if they run at 100 km/h coming in, it's a crash. Sorry.
It's a crash indeed.
It's a crash.
We've got more full strips.
You're good at cars now, isn't it?
No. This is not. It's not in
this
my.
cannot do anything.
No. Let's look at another strip here. I think it might be our last strip, but let's check this one out here. By the way, this is from Bulama's Daily Trust, and this wasn't the one I wanted to talk about. There's another one I wanted to show, just because that's the last that I can talk about. There we go. A fantastic representation of.
What's that cartoon that all of the characters were rats? In the 90s. It's not Danger Mouse.
It was Walt Disney, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Walt Disney.
You keep talking, I remember.
Okay.
What was it again? I know one of the characters was called Ratigan.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Sherlock. It was Sherlock Holmes-esque type.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but yeah, this is what it is. Yes, a community of rats. Who's enjoying, who's eating, who wants in the door. Coalition there knocking. And of course you can tell that this person perhaps will be somewhere inside of one, midterm, speech said, everybody is welcome and there's nothing wrong. If you come, we'll take you. So they're there knocking at the door, waiting for the largesse that whoever this is sitting on.
I mean, look at the tail of that rat, man. Woo!
What is it that is big and fat?
It's so big. The tail is massive.
Just take note of this situation and compare it to what we see currently when it comes to self-preservation in the political system. Everybody running to the ruling party right now, and I'm saying carry all your baggage, everything, bring it into the APC. Even if it's doing a good job, it's still going to be attracting a lot of elements that it was in itself fighting against from before. But only this time,
who wouldn't want to get into that room? Look at that, the enjoyment that's going on there.
I bet you. Anyhow, well, that's as much as we can take, Judith. Thank you very much for helping me take a look at the strips for today. If you've got a couple that you'd like us to see, or maybe talk about next week, we always encourage that you send them, and you can use our socials, and we'll be able to get them and put them here on our screen.